Peace.
Peace.
This is Joshua Law, Mr. PhD. You're just now entering the cipher called Real to Real 360. K-Wise,
Peace, God.
bring that beat in, kid.
Indeed.
Peace.
Yeah. What's going on, party people? Welcome to the Real to Real 360 show. Let's get it in.
We do the knowledge and wisdom so you can understand. Real to Real 360 shows in full command. We changing the game for how it all was taught. From bondage to freedom to an independent thought. Yo, the show is here to bring about a change for real. To lighten everyone so we all know the deal. 360 degrees is a fact. We created the show to give our love back to our communities so we can know what's going on and give them the support from knowledge to born. So if you're ready to learn, then it's time to go. Sit back and relax and enjoy your show. Peace.
Peace, 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 and blessings to all, to man, woman, and child, to all the human families of the planet Earth. I be the God, K-Wise Allah, a.k.a. Kato, the Black Superhero. And once again, welcome to the Real to Real 360 show. This afternoon, we have a truly powerful and dynamic session about to take place. This may even go over our hour mark, so however it is, it's going to fall to be right and exact. Without further ado, again, big shout out to the Nation of God's Nurse Allah's 5% first and foremost. I'd like to bring on my co-host, my brother in God, Joshua Allah, aka Mr. PhD himself, so we can get started. Now, I just telling y'all right now, sit down, look, listen, observe, expect what's about to take place. If there's anything you want to add on, feel free to hit our comment button, share and like, and we'll do our best to address your questions as things unfold. But right about now, we getting ready to get into the real to real. So again, I'm about to bring on my co-host, none other than Joshua Allah, Mr. PhD himself, and he can introduce everybody to our platform. Peace, God.
Peace, God, peace. Once again, you know what I'm saying, one piece, say peace to the Nation of God's Nerves and Love's 5%. I want to bring on my brothers, our brothers. A lot of time, these individuals are on majority of the council, and working in the community. I have my brother Law Mathematics, my big brother Divine Prince, the God I be, and the God Lord Merciful. I want y'all to clap your hands, bring these brothers in, and give them the proper respect that they deserve today on Real to Real 360. I just want to say, you know what I'm saying, it's been a long time, you know what I'm saying, getting back home, you know what I'm saying, and getting a chance to see my brothers, and this is a great way for me to get a chance to reconnect with them and see them and make sure that they're doing okay on this day, you know what I'm saying, I'm knowledge born. So let's make these things happen. Peace to the gods.
Peace. Peace to the God.
Peace. Today we're going to discuss a lot of the things that are going on within our nation, far as what coming from a law school in Mecca, the national cultural affairs, and things of that nature. At that point in time, I want to bring in Allah Mathematics and Divine Prince so they can start speaking on what is actually going on for us with the school and the direction that we're going in with the law school in Mecca. Peace to the gods.
Peace, gods. Peace, earth. You can start Law's Mathematics. Peace. I be Law's Mathematics. I'm the liaison for the Office of Cultural Management at a law school in Mecca. The main purpose for the Office of Cultural Management when it was first founded and created was to really focus on the interior cipher here in Region 1. Being that this is the foundation where the knowledge and wisdom was first founded when the law brought it to us, everything comes to a law school in Mecca. So even though you do have the National Office of Cultural Affairs, which is handled by Born King, a lot of areas, a lot of interior ciphers in the United States of America here in the wilderness have been reaching out to us here at the Office of Cultural Management. As you know, now we are recognized in 17 states. I believe, if I'm correct, Michigan is about to be the next state that we are about to be recognized in. And we want to make sure now that we are being recognized and people can now find out who and what we're about, that the correct information is being disseminated across the whole wilderness of North America of who and what we about. Part of also the Office of Cultural Management is also to monitor things that's being put out by the nation of gods and earths, books, literature, whether it be by Wakil, Saladin, Michael Muhammad Knight, whoever, that the correct information is being sent out. Part of my duties and responsibilities is really with the interior cipher and really correspondence that comes to a law school in Mecca. I believe at the last parliament, I'm going to emphasize that again. You know, that at this coming parliament, which we're going to have a dinner in recognition of a law, you know what I'm saying, here at 3589 3rd Avenue in Pelon, which is called the Bronx. That a lot of mail comes here, and we have people all across the wilderness of North America asking for proper knowledge of self. They are ordering books online. They are, as you know now, if you don't know, in the interior cipher now, they're allowed to have phones. So they get on their phone and try to look up what it is, the nation of God, and they try to educate themselves. As builders, all right, as builders, and I'm reaching out because I'm hoping that all level regions, you know what I'm saying, is paying attention to this. We're going to start, hopefully, by the Education Show and Prove, have a regional conference where we can start reaching out to who's in what region so that when we get this mail, we can be able to pass this information on to them, being that it's their region, they can be able to handle that, you know what I'm saying, from their area. Because I must receive, say, at least 150 letters asking for proper knowledge of self alone. I have brought several letters here, you know what I'm saying, from Arizona, from Illinois. All right, this is where the foundation is. I want to get it from here. So one of the things that we had built about before the pandemic was that we would like to get in contact with all regions so we can try to come together of what set of 120 lessons are the correct lessons to be, say that this is what we agree with. It can be sent around to all 11 regions. Just the other day, I'm on the phone with guards in San Quentin and in Solano State prisons. As you know, that's the last case that we won, and now being Office of Cultural Management has been dealing with California now because California has reached out to us to assist them in making sure that the nation of God's earth is being taught properly and what the honor days are, and what they're supposed to be able to have. So that's what we be working with. But just the other day, God's asked us questions. Some people have 12 jewels, some don't have 12 jewels. Well, what is the 12 jewels about? They actually for certain shown proofs to certain degrees when it comes to the continent of Africa, or why do they live a dumber way of life? These are some of the questions that come to us that have to be, you know what I'm saying, added on to these breeds that seeking proper knowledge of self. And I'm gonna say proper knowledge of self. But you have improper knowledge of self and you have correct proper knowledge of self. So these are some of the things that we are battling right now, you know, as the Office of Cultural Management, that we would like to try to send. If you're from Region 4, we will start sending you mail from Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, which is Region 4. You know what I'm saying? And so forth and so on. If you're up in Region 2, which is, I think it's Connecticut, Massachusetts, I think Vermont and Maine, right? We receive mail from that area. So y'all could be able to build with these guards, because it like to be a lot of hands-on. It has to be really hands-on when you educate somebody. I got letters, God saying, you can see if you ever go inside the Nation of Gods and Earth rooms, Universal Parliament rooms, or the Street Academy rooms. You got God saying they've been on a 3-day fast by themselves and then started educating themselves. That's not the way this was taught. There's a very interesting book that I just found out that in California, being that there's a pandemic and they're not letting gods and earths have civilization classes or parliaments or rallies, and they took this book right here, Ain't No Spook God, Religiosity in the Nation of Gods and Earth, Understanding NGE. Being that they're not having those services, they're taking documents and pages out of this book and sending it to anybody who's registered as a member of the Nation of Gods and Earths. This is stuff that we have to do something about. We have to make sure this is being taught properly. They can't just take anything from anywhere and just hand it and say, well, here you go, without it being proved from here. Just like as I said the other day during the Zoom conference, this is the foundation. Here, law school in Mecca. I mean, if we not saying that we recognize it, how can any institution recognize it? But again, the Office of Cultural Management is not just here for the interior cipher. We're here to make sure in the educational field, academic part of the department, that this is being disseminated properly as well too. If you're in any type of medical facilities, hospital, that you're being recognized and our tenets and practices are being honored, and even in medical facilities, mental health facilities, and even senior citizen facilities, and even in the employment field. You know what I'm saying? This is all the purpose of the Office of Cultural Management. 3 years, 2.5 years, young still. The Office of Cultural Management per se.
Into our 4th year.
Per se, you know what I'm saying? But we're hoping to be able to expand to be able to have the Office of Cultural Management in each region. You know what I'm saying? So you could be able, you know what I'm saying, that any information that you need, you could be able to contact either Region 4, Region 2, Region 1, wherever, whatsoever, and be able to get proper the knowledge that you need to be able to build and be a successful builder here, not just here in the wilderness of North America, but all over the planet Earth.
And, thank you, Lord. Peace, everyone. I'm Divine Prince of Law, God, Divine Prince of Law, and I am many things, man. You know, I've been there. I have my hands in a lot of things, but I am at present the secretary for the Office of Cultural Management that was originated in the law school, where we're centered here in Mecca, which is New York City. There's a saying amongst us, man, that proper education always corrects errors, and this holds true. I come back from the early 70s, man, when I first received this knowledge, and there's always been this problem of uniformity with our lessons. You can bring together 10 brothers and look at their lessons, and they will not all, man, be matching word for word, right? But it was always a qualified teacher, right, to guide us, man, in the proper understanding of our lesson, to show how to walk and talk, right? Because 120, man, that's our culture, right? And we experience ourselves from other cultures that may have privy to lessons, but for us, man, those lessons were given for a specific reason, for us, man, to be able to raise the education of the babies, right? And we've done a great job with that, man. Although it may seem like these things that are occurring now, with misinformation being given, this has always been a lot for us, man. Right? But I do want to say, man, that the Office of Cultural Management, like Alam Mathematics said, man, extends further than just satisfying the needs of 5% that are locked down in prison. It's for all prisoners, right? And for all young people, especially that are locked in prison, man, that we want them to come out being productive members of society. All right. And for me, man, you know, outside of you getting a crown or a flag or other paraphernalia, man, that would identify as being the 5%, I also want you to be educated and being able, when you do get out, that you can hit the ground running, man, because we have set up some resources to enable you, man, to what? Not only get employment, but be able, man, to reconnect with your family. For my part, man, I know that addiction is such that's a great devil in the life of so many of our young, right? We stand against, man, drugs and crime and anything, man, that'll take you away from being all that you can be, right? Well, I can say that in my time, because I've been here since the early 70s, and it's been very seldom that I have come across a group of men with a determined idea to get things accomplished that are doing the work that we are doing. You know, it may not seem like much to others, but if you was on the inside track, you would know, man, that we have made history, right? Right now, man, the Department of Corrections in the state of New York, man, we are the exclusive vendors for 5% materials, right? Books and other things like that. But beyond that, man, our intention, man, is to set up a structure, man, where you have alternatives to crime. Because the main purpose of this, man, is to put an end to recidivism, to going back and forth, right? To bring back the hope for our young man that they can make a difference and better this society, because that's what the law wanted, man, for us to make the society we are living in, man, to improve the conditions of life for all, right? And we've had some opposition. There's always been some knucklehead that's come out, man, proclaiming to be something that they are not, and those that come under their wing, man, they're being guided in the wrong direction, right? So it's very important, man, like that, they do receive proper education through the proper teachings and the proper lessons in these facilities. And where we've grown, like we have an association with California. I personally, man, speak to guards, man, on the interior side, man, Tennessee, Alabama, Oklahoma, you name it. You know what I'm saying? Because I am someone you can identify with. Just like a law of mathematics, when you see me, him, Allah, you justice, universal Shakim, Lord merciful, those of us, man, that are involved in this, you know who we are, right? You know that you can come to us, man, and receive correct information. And that's what it's about. Intelligence is information. And our information is supreme because, man, we tell the truth. We're not here to deceive you, man. We let them know, man, that there, man, it's all fine and good that you know 120 lessons while you're inside incarcerated, but how are you going to apply it when you get out? You know what I'm saying? This is what our objective is, man, to not only raise the consciousness level of the people, but also, man, provide an alternative means for you to be productive, that you don't have to revert to crime to feed your family. You do not have to be addicted. You do not have to, man, be in desperation, right? You can be in peace, man. You know, this is why we've set this up, and this is why we're being successful. We're fully self-supporting. We look at no one, man, you know, because all the funds that we acquire and the work we do come from our membership. You know, those of us, man, that contribute our low dollars, man, to make things happen, and we've been doing. You know, the flags, man, that everybody has an issue with, man, the flags that we send into the interior country that we have available for others, man, is right and exact. You know what I'm saying? And we know it's right and exact because we have gone through the test with it, man, you know? So when you look at us, the ultimate culture, man, you have to realize exactly what we're about. It's not just, man, to catch, because some falsely call, well, yeah, that's the prisoners committee. No, we go further than that, man, you know, because these streets must be addressed as well to prevent them from going to prison. The father said, man, don't go to jail. We're setting up, man, a means for you to have that alternative, right? That's the long and the short of it, right? We want you to know back at who we are and what we're about.
That's right. Me, Lord. Let me get a chance to introduce the other two guys that's on here, and then we're gonna get right back to you. I want to introduce Lord Merciful and let him come on and give, you know what I'm saying, a brief overview of who Lord Merciful is, our big brother. Come on, Lord Merciful.
Peace. You can hear me?
Peace indeed, God. I can hear you.
Well, my background, I've been with the nation since I was 16 years old. I'm now 64. I just had a physical day on the 6th of February.
Happy physical.
Thank you. So I got involved with the Office of Cultural Management for, it's been that going on 6 years right now, because we had that idea for the brothers that's in prison to get the knowledge of self properly. What got me involved with that is that a lot of justice came to me and he said, these are great ideas because this is what we want to do. What we should be doing is our duty to do this. Because my thing is, when you took the name of a lie, I can't be responsibilities. Not your name is a lie, I can't be responsibilities. So this is what we came forward to do. And it's going for 6 years. We just want to make sure that it's done properly. Because everybody talking about mathematics, they're not teaching it properly. You can quote it, throw it backwards and sideways, but you're not doing it properly. You're walking drunk. I'm not saying because you're drinking, but your mathematics is wrong. Do it right. Stop just calling names. Live it out. That impressed me more. How you living it out, not just quoting it. You gotta live it out. Right. That's the most important thing. So I get long with it sometimes. So I'm keep brief anyway. So I'm gonna say peace.
Peace. I want to introduce the God IB. Peace, God. How you?
Peace to the family. Peace to the gods and earths and all the human families of the universe. My name is the God IB. I was invited by Allah Mathematics to join this forum. I'm really here to support the gods. But what I will say is this, right? I am a direct representation of what's going on in the P-Now system because I really got into my 120 while I was incarcerated. That's where I met brothers like my big uncle Merciful and Allah Mathematics, and I later met Divine Prince when I came home. And what I will say is this, right? The things that are going on inside the P-Now system have, there has been great triumphs in one way, but they've also cut against us. And why do I say that? I say that because I come from being in Clinton Correctional Facility where we used to be building in the yard during Parliament. We might have had like 4 or 5 courts. Well, people don't, I mean, I don't want to speak in a language people don't understand, but a court is basically an area inside of the P-Now system where we are allowed to congregate in small numbers. So there's various courts that was around each other, and sometimes it would be 30 guards on different courts that are able to build in the yard, right? Now, when the legislation was passed, it did bring us outside of the code from building in the yard, because sometimes it's -20 outside in them yards. However, at the same time, us coming inside and being able to build inside of a room changed the dynamic where the build powers or the destroy powers, whatever you want to call them, they wasn't allowed to hear the message now. So, it's a give and a take when it comes to this dynamic. But I will say this also, building with the guards where, I came up in the Christian household where they would not give me, they have not able to reach me from going astray. The guards reached me when I was in my worst condition and helped me to build up the wherewithal to get a study regimen where I was able to, while in prison, go to school, go to college, get my associate's degree, come home, get my bachelor's degree, and now my master's degree. And I'm currently a drug substance abuse counselor in Hotel Teresa, where the father once walked at. So this thing can be made to walk and talk, and I'm a living representation of it. And with that, I say peace.
Peace, God. I want to say congratulations on getting those things, getting your college degrees, and also to giving back to the community, because anybody who knows anything about being a drug counselor, you're dealing with people hands on, mouth to ear, face to face, and you're walking and talking with them. So I want to say congratulations, and I salute you for coming back into the free cipher, adding on the way that you are. Also, with doing the knowledge to what's going on inside these correctional facilities, how has the aspect of the changing of the legislator with the guards inside, are they looked at as a religious group or a cultural dynamic more so than anything else?
Well, me and the guard were both handled, but just as an outside observer, right, and someone that is studying the incarceration, the whole spectrum of it, man, right? We are still considered as religion. That seems to be the main obstacle way, man, of understanding. But at the same token, we've got to understand as well, man, that the mindset of the people, they have problems, man, disassociating us from the nation of Islam, right? We're expected to walk a certain way, talk a certain way. You tell someone I'm a 5% older. Well, in your lessons, you say that you are a Muslim, right? I've always been a stickler, man, for distinguishing myself from any religious body, to let them know, man, that this is a culture, man, that is not, have anything to do with religion. Although, right, religiosity, we will find out even on our own midst, man, that brothers have tried to make this into a religion. It is a way of life, simple and plain, man. This does not mean that we're not a reverent people, that there aren't certain principles that religious people follow that we ourselves don't follow, right? But to make a clear line of distinction about who we are and what we're about. Because I do recall, man, the father saying on the audio, I never met Allah, but on the audio tape, he said, do not teach religion, because if you teach religion, you will no longer have the courage to fight. Right? And right now, we're in the fight of our lives, man. 50 years ago, there was less than 30,000 people in prisons in the United States. Now, man, it's over 3 million. and the majority of them are black and brown, right? And we have to look at the big picture, man, of why this is occurring, right? They say there'll never be any peace until the 5% are sitting at the property. And we have seen it, man. We can show evidence like the God IB, a law of mathematics, a law of justice. These brothers were incarcerated, came home hitting the ground running, and Lord merciful too, and have set up a structure, man, where it's only not only about improving your insight into how you live out Islam, but improving the quality of your life or how you live it outside, right? We know that organized religion, man, has been one of the main oppressors of our people since we got here, right? So we have to break the spell of organized religion, man. Why else we get somewhere up in the sky? No one's coming to save you. We got to save ourselves, right?
A lot of feedback.
There's some feedback somewhere. Somebody got their mic on and it's got a lot of feedback. So I think something is going on simultaneously somewhere. Appreciate that. I just wanted to make that a point because we have won a lot of court cases, a lot of court battles when it came down to the Nation of God's Nerfs, the laws 5%, whether it's out here in Virginia, out in New York, and want to also express to people that we are not a religion, we are a culture. And being a culture, we live in a lifestyle of mathematics. If it don't add up, it don't make sense to us. So we just want to make sure that we touch on that we're not a religion, we're a culture, and wanted to make sure that everybody who is looking to get it right and exact. And with the individuals that you have on this panel that was brought on the show today, they was given the opportunity to let you know straight from them that you can get it right and exact from a law school in Mecca. They can direct you to where you need to be at within wherever you are in all 11 regions, and make sure that you get the proper knowledge of self. Lord Merciful, how has it things evolved since you got the knowledge?
Well, it has evolved plenty as far as I'm concerned, because when I first got knowledge of self, we left out the word respect. When I got mathematics, it was knowledge was part of respect. It's like the respect is not there like it should be. How I was taught. Knowledge is to look, listen, learn, and respect. The respect we just left, they just left it out. There's no respect going on. That's one of my main things that was going on now. They just threw that away. That don't matter. Because I'm a stickler when it comes to respect. You want respect, you gotta show respect. Show that you're respectful. That's the main thing. That's one of my sticklers I seem to have a problem with nowadays. Because when I came to this nation, things were not allowed. It doesn't have to be written in black and white. These are things that the Nation of Gods we don't do. So we don't have to put it in black and white, because you know. So it shouldn't be, the stuff that's going on now shouldn't be happening at period. That's what I have a problem with. I'm not here to voice my opinion as far as that concerned, but that's the thing that I have a problem with. We got to come together for one common cause. Because my thing is, what nation that taught me in order to build a house, you have to have an architect. You have to have somebody to know how to do the windows. You have to have somebody know how to dig the dirt. Every part is very important. Everybody plays a major role. Then at the end of the day, we'll have a house. That's how I see mathematics is teaching us to do. So we have to stick to the basics. Don't go off key and just use mathematics for how you want it to be. Is what it's supposed to be. My thing, just tell the truth. That's the easiest thing that I can do. Just tell the truth. Because facts can change. The truth doesn't change. Facts change. Today I could be 200 pounds. Tomorrow I could be 201. That was true then, but now we deal with the truth. That's the bottom line, is the truth.
Right. The truth is definitely, truth never changes. It always remains the same. Now I wanted to also touch on, we've been pushing like $100 for 100 Gods and Nerves. See if we can get brothers to donate in any shape, form, or fashion. How is that going along with that Gods?
Before we go there, I just want to ask a question about the interior cipher, and I want to, for anybody who's doing the knowledge to this podcast, the term that the court recognized as a God-centered culture. That's the term that we use, God culture. Because just like any other religions, God is the center of our culture, of our way of life. So that's the term that we use, you know what I'm saying, to make it understandable when we dealing with people outside of our cipher.
Okay.
There was one other thing that you spoke about. People ask me, well, why the prisons? Why do y'all go in there and everything and stuff like that? Did you break that school to prison pipeline? My major focus. And who knows the telltale signs to look for in these seeds than those who actually fell victim to them? Everybody has the ability to bring a child in this world, but don't have the ability to be a father or mother. They don't know what the telltale signs are. Who knows the telltale signs but us? Who does the knowledge? Who do the knowledge and knows how to say, well, listen, man, your seed over there, right there, he's straight in this direction. And they ask me, why do I know that? Some fact that this is how I fell victim to it. And I can share my experience with them and stuff like that. We know the telltale signs. And we figure, and I see that if we come out here and we can start educating the seeds like we're supposed to be doing properly, that would destroy the numbers. Let me give you some statistics. 600,000 people gets released from prison every year in the United States of America. Within 90 days, 72% has been rearrested. Within 3 to 5 years, they have been rearrested for a new felony. And that's as of 2019, those statistics. That's what the Office of Cultural Management do. We check out the numbers and statistics and see what we can do to combat it and fight it to be able to bring it down. And that's the main, and that's the main purpose. To destroy them numbers, bring down recidivism, and start educating them. Let gods and earths know why they ain't in there. This is where they create the work ethic and energy to be able to come to the free cipher, you know what I'm saying, to be a contributor to their community and to be able to stay free and successful in their growth and development. That's what the Office of Cultural Management is about when it comes to the interior cipher. Now you asked the question about the law school project.
Right.
I don't know if y'all paid attention to the last parliament. The last parliament, it was agreed upon by me, and my big brother here, Born Black, that we was gonna give everybody their money back, and we was asked not to. Since the last parliament, people have reached out to me from Texas and everything, from Virginia. Got God just texted me now, coming up from North Carolina tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Donate, say, listen, we want you to stay focused. Y'all need that. We need a place that we need something of our own. Right. So we're gonna stay steadfast to that. Of course, we was asking for $100 from Gods and Earths. I had went around and made a post. I'm going to reiterate that at the next parliament. I'm just asking for 50 cents to $1 from 100,000 Gods and Earths. That would help get to where we need to be at, so we could be able to pick a prefabricated building in our own backyard. So we have to be going to New York City Department of Education. We won't have to be going to no community centers. You know what I'm saying? Asking them, could we rent this month? Because as of now, the venue that we have on 3589 3rd Avenue, this is going to be our last month using that venue for our parliament. This is why we need our own. This is why if you're a builder, you have to come and you have to add on to this cipher. I'm only asking for 50 cents to $1. Yes, we was asking for $100, but let me bring it down. Now, let me reiterate something now too. I don't care about what happened in the past. This is 2022. And I said this back in September. Every month I make knowledge born on how much money we have received and where we are at. I make knowledge born. This brother Divine Prince and this brother to the right of me, Born Black, all have apps on their phones so they can be able to track the money. Allah said do things in threes. So that's why there's 3 people, you know what I'm saying, that's attached to this account. So they can see when money's being extracted, taken out, and when money's being put in. It's the same thing for the Office of Cultural Management. Me, Allah, you Justice, and Shakim all have apps so we can monitor the money. We do things in threes for a reason. If you first agree It's the reason why Allah said that first degree is knowledge, and why knowledge means with me. If you cannot see by doing the knowledge that they have different, you have different brothers here, gods and earths here, you know what I'm saying? Who's real, who's actually living and real about what they say they're doing, then you still dumb, deaf, and blind. I'm gonna leave it just like that. You're still dumb, deaf, and blind, and you have not learned nothing. I chose the righteous name mathematics for a reason, because it's the science to everything in life. And if you're about supreme mathematics, you can see this is different than what it was 10, 15, 20, or 25 years ago. You have builders here. We need our own building. We need to stop giving our gold to other people. Peace.
Peace. Hey, guy. I personally work at a juvenile correctional facility in Divine C in DC, and I noticed young that there's a lot of reciprocation coming, like for us with the youth going back and forth. And what I've noticed, a lot of it is lack of education and lack of trade of how to be able to take care of themselves. How is it that we as a nation can address those needs of those people, of these young people today? What kind of programs can we have been started where we can definitely address those issues?
Can I touch on that, please?
Probably. Beginning of anything along that line, God, has to be some sort of mentorship. Men raising men. Right?
Right.
Before we get into that, though, man, I think, man, that a lot of mathematics hit about the $100 Gods and Earths project. That's still going on. But I must remind everyone that prior to the pandemic, right, that we already had plans, man, to like landscape the yard, right, and preparation to put a building on there. Well, we began at the pandemic. It slowed down things, but we still had regular meetings, right, where I showed different designs of things we could have. There's one point we had like the storage trailer homes. They're very popular now, and how we could do that, how we could best utilize it in our yard and everything. Coming up, man, you know, now we come with 100 men for $100 for 100 men, knowing that, man, that anything that we're going to build has to have a foundation. That initial $10,000 was to build the foundation upon it, and man, continue our fundraising efforts to get more, because I think Law of Mathematics expressed, man, that what we envision is going to cost well over $75,000 to $100,000. But we had to begin somewhere, right? We decided, man, not that, you know, because people still want to see us, that we will continue on with our fundraising efforts. We opened up a bank account, you know, as an entity for under the Office of Cultural Management, right? And we're going to continue, man, employing us to add on. Now, I've heard that brothers have other ideas of, man, how to acquire, like you mentioned, a 50 cent from 100,000 people, right? All that is good, man. And for me, man, like I told you before, right? And I've said it time and time, there will be something there, because this is part of our legacy. Me, Born Black, and BLR Man began this, and it may seem like it's not gathering momentum, but it is. I'm certain, man, that at some point we will hit the monetary mark we want. But I have to remind you that it's not just our project; it should be a project for the entire nation, right? As far as men teaching men, it's my thing, man, that we've got to get out and find, like this medium here, man, is a good means, man. Social media has become a tool, man, that can be used if used properly, right? I'm all for, man, having a visible presence in my community and let them know, man, to put down the gun, pick up the pen, you know, pull your pants up. Let's start conducting our affairs as men, because y'all look mighty simple, right? Back in the days, man, we approached the leaders of these gangs, right? And many of them became 5%. And I'm holding the same thing down now, man. To approach those, man, that are directly responsible for steering these young people in the wrong direction, right? It used to be, man, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Now y'all wasting your body. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reasons, man, every day there's 2 or 3 murders here in New York and around the country. And we look at it, man, and say, what has got this attitude going, man? Is there lack of knowledge of self, or is there some forces out here, man, that are putting pistols and the drugs in the hands of these young people and making everything chaos to the point, man, where a lot of young don't even think they have a future, right? We're here to let you know, man, that God is immortal, that the black man is God, and that God exists in you. And if you're going to change your condition, you got to listen to somebody at some point. If you don't listen to us, you'll damn sure listen to the guy that got you locked up in the prison. You know, that's how to start. How we do it, you know, because every community has their own environment. You know, they have their own characters in it. We've got to reach out and let them know we have something for you. You've got to have something for them to aspire to. And I'm not just talking about sports or entertainment. I'm talking about, man, trades and other skills, man, where you be able, man, to support a family. Because not everybody makes the NBA. Not everybody's going to get that $1 million contract. You know what I'm saying? We encourage you, man, to come on and get to the business, man, of building the future for yourself. Right? I see a law you justice has joined us. Maybe my brother wants to add on.
Peace, God.
Peace.
For many of y'all who don't know me, mostly everybody do. My name is Law You Justice. I just want to address a couple of things as far as the Office of Cultural Management. I came home from prison in 2001. No, excuse me, 2001. Been home 20 years now without going back to prison at all. And during the time that I was in there, I developed the concept of basically coming out here to build with this nation and to build with the babies so that they wouldn't go back or repeat any of the things that I did in the past. And when we speak about recidivism, they always say that within a 3-year period of time after dealing with stats, within 3 years, we usually repeat or go back to prison. And I was going to break that cycle, not just for me, but for the babies, the younger guards amongst me, and the older guards that were around me. So when I came home after those years, I came out running. As the guard said, I came here directly to the school and I started putting programs into effect. Let me not leave out Born King, because Born King, me and him were instrumental in doing this program together. They call it the National Office of Culture Affairs. We have our name here in Mecca, what we do for Mecca. And we went into, we focused on the prisons of New York State first and foremost, because that's where the case originated at. So we still, and going in there and dealing with those people, one of the things that I always say to the Office of Cultural Management is that it's a teachable moment to everybody that we deal with, whether it's in the penal institution or whether it's those that surround them. Why? Because in the penal institution, as y'all said earlier, it was looked at from a religious aspect. So we had to teach them that we are not about religion, that this is about a culture, our way of life, a God-centered culture, God-centered because I am God. And I am the center of that being, of everything that radiates from me. So going in there, they asked us to teach the civilian population about the nation of gods and earth, the 5% nation. So it becomes a teachable moment to them because all that they have ever been taught was religion, from a religious aspect. They have never heard that the black man is God other than us that's in there, and they still looked at us in a negative form. So we had to bring it to them in a more positive and profound aspect. Black man is God, and we're not about all those negative things that y'all place upon us. And we show that by how we live it on a daily basis. Divine Prince has never been to prison before, and he was on the committee so that we can show that all of us didn't actually come out the penal institution. However, those that did come out the penal institution was doing everything that was correct that was righteous and that was positive, so that we would not go back to the penal institution again. Our wisdom born degree in the law free cipher tells us that prison houses were not built to imprison his people. And when we look at the history of the prison complex, we see that over a period of time after the 1960s, the majority of people that was going to prison or that they were sending to prison, let me say it that way, let me repeat that they were sending to prison were Black and Hispanic people. Okay, so we had to come together within mind to say we have to go against that. If we keep our brothers and sisters from going into the penal institution by teaching them how they got there from the very root of it, which might even been the youth that you were talking about, John Shamel, because as a youth, I was running the street doing all the negative things in the world until I got knowledge of self. And when I got knowledge of self, I started putting everything in the order. And especially after I went to the prison system for 18 solid years of my life. I had nothing to do but think and get things in order. And looking at the history of what we went through as a Black people going to prison in the system from the 60s, how I can recall in 1970 when I first did my first state bill, there were only 52 prisons in the state of New York.
Right.
In the early 80s, they came into our 5 communities and they took all the babies, the young that were still 20 and 18 to 20 years old, and they gave them 20 years to life in prison, or they gave them 15 years as a result of what crime that they committed. But the reason we committed the crime is because how we were taught in our community, or the lack thereof. So now coming back into the community, we came back to teach them how not to go back to the prison system, or how not, for the youth that haven't been in there, how not to go into the prison system by making sure they get an education or they get a skill. By looking at us, by what we've gone through in our past, and teaching them what they don't have to go through, and teach them what the system is about. That's how you destroy the devil's civilization within one day without falling victim to it. By teaching our people how not to get caught up in it. By getting an education. Look what happened to the guard. He got a master's degree along with a lot of other guards that came home. And they reversed the polarity. You're not putting us in the prison no more because we're going to teach brothers how to stay, not only brothers, but sisters, how to stay out of prison. It's not by chance or accident that all of a sudden they blocked us from going in. That is a plan, because they know by us getting in there and teaching, not only we just going to teach about a law of mathematics, but we're showing them how to live once they come home. One of the objects of what we're doing with Office of Cultural Management is not only thinking about once they go home, we want to get in there a year prior to them coming home so that we can sit down and build with them on how to get a driver's license, how to get your birth certificate, all the necessity things that they need so that when they come home. Because a lot of times when brothers and sisters come out the penal institution, they may have lost family members and they can't get nowhere to go to. They go right into shelters. We're trying to prevent all of that so that when they do come out, they would have a place to live. Because you can't teach me anything if my stomach is growling and I ain't got a place to lay my head. There's very little you can teach me. So if we can provide those things in advance for them, then, that's the love that we're sharing with them because we've been through this already. So we keep that in mind. Like I said, there's statistics that prove that from 1972 to 1984, they built 80-something prisons in New York State. And guess the majority of people that was in prison were Black and Hispanic. So they built prison house to imprison the Black man so that they could keep us from becoming educated and qualifying ourselves against them in this particular world of economics. But that's what we want to do. We want to come out and show and prove to the world that the black man is God and that we are builders. It's not about crime all the time. It's not about us living crime. That's how some of us went through it, but we don't want the babies to go through that. So the best qualified to teach them is the ones that went there before it. So when we get to the youth, when we bring the youth to law school, we teach from our own experience. The best experience is the one that you went through, so you can teach from that. And that's what we're doing here at the law school. That's what the Office of Cultural Management is doing at the law school. But not only that, when it goes into our lessons perspective, any books that they got out there that's not in tune with law mathematics, right, we are here to displace all that nonsense that they're putting in the atmosphere. You know, anything of that nature, that's what we're about. That's what we're here for. You know, we're trying to build this school, this building in the yard, which we've been talking about for many of years now. So, and I've always said this, an idea will remain an idea until you make it what? A reality. So it's not about us just talking about it. We're making it, we're making this living reality. We're making it into mathematics. And what it is, a lot of brothers and sisters in our nation, they deal with the history of what certain brothers may have done to us in this nation, okay, as far as holding money. But we don't, since we've been here got over 20 years, not a dime has been taken from this school. We have multiplied. We have added on. And to build everything around us, we talk about the 85% is deaf, dumb, and blind, but they building up everything around us. What are we doing? We're trying to do the exact same thing. And we say we're the supreme being, then we don't have a commonality with them. We have supreme knowledge. So we have to build these things that we put into active, that we say we want to do. Not just say it, we have to live it. So we got land that Allah left for us to build on. He told us when he told us to go to school, get an education, or get a skill. So now this is what we teach on a daily basis. But we need to take the education and the skills that we have and build on our own land, because we can generate money from that. We got a boxing team here, AIG Boxing. We want to put that in there, not only for the youth that's in the street using guns. They can come, if you want to get some of that energy up, let's go to the ring. Bring it to the ring. And let that be a profession for you, instead of running the streets trying to get each other off. But at the same time, we're teaching a law of mathematics. We're teaching how to live amongst each other righteously. Why I gotta look at you because you black and you live on the same block, but I'm trying to kill you? No, let's come together like it. Take it back to my era in the 60s when brothers used to fight each other instead of putting guns on each other. Take it to the ring and make it a profession out if that's what you choose to do. But that's also community building, because we'll bring the youth that's in the community off the street so they'll have a place to go. At the same time, in the summertime, like the guard said, we want to have our parliaments. We ain't got to spend a dime for it because we built our own. When the community at large want to come to us and want to use the community center, we allow them to use the community center. Not only that, we're trying to establish what's that thing where we getting all the food together? Pantry for the food pantry for the community. This is what we're doing when we talk about community building. So I'm trying to address all things that were said so far. These are the things that we're doing here at our school. And when it comes to the youth, even those that may have touched the law one time, you know, we're trying to get in touch with the court system where the courts will allow them, for us to have them, where we can do things, community building with them. Like all the graffiti that's in our community, we'll get them and have them paint over the graffiti. At the same time, teaching them how to live amongst themselves out here in our communities. So yeah, we have programs for the youth. We got things for them to do. We already had youth coming here in the summertime helping us cleaning out the yards and stuff. But these are just a few of the things that we're doing. There's a lot more, but I just wanted to add on to. I wanted to make sure that wisdom born degree was established into what we're doing as far as the prison system is concerned. Because if we keep our brothers and sisters from going to the penal institution, which is happening if you look around, because there are no longer 72 prisons in New York State prison. They're down to 50. Okay, so a lot of things that who brothers that, and I know who come home when I came home, they were out here and they haven't gone back. Brothers that I've taught since I've been home, they're out here and they haven't gone back. Brothers that's been around me, when see how I teach, they're out here and they haven't gone back. So if we can do that, like here is just a pilot program. And if we can take the pilot program and put that in every state, and everybody's acting in accord with the pilot program, then we'll, again, the prison system, we'll kill it within one day. We'll destroy it within one day. I watched Nap become economically stable. I watched the prison in Southport become economically stable. When they took the Hershey Company out of Elmira, New York, a lot of those areas, as far as the Europeans is concerned, they went down. They couldn't even survive. So that's what the free NAFTA program was about. When they took all the program and sent them overseas. When they didn't want to build a prison in Pelon, they took it and built Southport with it. And I watched the community of Southport become economically stable off the back of the original man. So I know if we don't go to prison, then they got to fend for themselves. We'll be making them economically stable by allowing us to go back to every prison that we go to. When they take our babies out the community, they put them in prisons for 15 or 20 years, you making that community stable for the next 20 years. If we stop going to prison, God, then the prison system will fall. And I keep saying this on a daily basis. This is what I teach, and this is what I live by. This is my living mathematics. This is the law living mathematics. And many of us that have come home now, we've educated ourselves. We've qualified ourselves in various areas. And we continue to do that. With that, I say peace, Almighty.
Hey, peace, God. The God K Wise had a question for y'all.
Well, first and foremost, peace to the gods again. My comment right now before I ask the question. Allah, I salute you 100% for what you have just brought. Your self-styled wisdom, your words of wise has truly been more magnified. And it's that this platform that I hope that others who are listening are truly hearing what you have said as far as the direction that we're looking for this nation to go to destroy all those negative aspects that are out here, the design to trap us into their system in order for them to grow. Because the number one thing, like you said, God, these prison houses were built to maintain, to hold, and capture the original man and our Hispanic brothers and the system, to keep them in the system so that they can still be robbed and live in the luxury of their own. They don't give a damn about the original man. All they want to do is still use and abuse for that which we do. But the moment you become wise and civilized about what you're doing, by having that knowledge of self, you'll be able to destroy and diminish those dominions that are coming your way. And then at the same time, as Allah has taught us to teach the babies, we teach the babies about all these things in the structure first so that they can be prepared and self-aware of what's coming. So therefore, they can deflect the negativity and show and prove that the black man is God always and right and exact. So I applaud you. I applaud every God on this panel because everything that you said is especially been sitting. Now, I'm myself being in the military. I was military. I retired. But even in the times of the military, I went to jail in the military for doing things crazily, but still having, especially preaching the knowledge of self about who we are as original people. They didn't like that, but I didn't care. They didn't stop me. I kept shining. The question I have, and any God is well qualified to answer this, from not just coming from the penal, but having an understanding as being God's all worldwide, wherever we are. The main element is knowing the teachings, as the God was saying, that what is right and exact within our lessons, what is right and exact from knowledge to the born process, so that when we out here, when we're building on the same level of plane that can be simplified, so the 85 can hear and understand and want to draw that magnetic to them. So when we go out there to show and prove, we must be representing, because every time we go out, anywhere we go out, I know that I'm representing Allah's 5%. I know when I speak and I open my mouth, people look at me and say, yo, you don't sound like you from here. No, I'm from a better place. Trust and believe. I'm from a place where you can get this knowledge. I'm from a place where I can show you this knowledge and teach you so you can do it for yourself. You know, all I am is just a messenger of the true word. I am true and living. So I want you to be the true. I want you to understand why you're the true and living. So we have to go out and be active, proactive for everything that we do. And what y'all saying right now, I'm so glad that we here on this platform so it can be said right and exact. Because I like I said, I got the phone lines open. Because if anybody says something that's being said on here is not right and exact, this is the time for you to come and call in and show and prove while the guards is here building. Because we are here to listen and make sure everything is right, exact according to what we say. So I don't have a question. I have to rescind. It's not a question. It's a positive attribute, and I'm so strong-willed listening to the guards and hearing what you're saying, because it's magnifying, and I'm hoping that it's traveling at the speed of light so people can hear the sound later of everything that's being portrayed here. This is the best show we have had right now, as far as I'm concerned. And one thing, a lot of people have been so misconfused about this nation for many of years, and I'm glad that we are where we are at this day and time to set the record straight and to give them the just due of understanding. So this is supposed to be an hour, but it ain't. I'm taking this. We going until I feel we satisfied with everything. So, guys, please, your self-styled wisdom is still here. We making knowledge born, and I'm so excited. So I just have to say this. I'm giving each and every one of the guards their flowers for showing their magnetic traction and wise words on our platform. And like I said, this is your home. This is your home, guards. Anytime. We like 7-Eleven. We'll be open 24/7 to get the knowledge out for us. So I thank you all again for being on. I just had to say that right now because that's what's truly in my heart. So peace to the guards.
Peace. God, I know for myself, I was incarcerated at 16 years old, went to Nassau County Correctional Facility, and did a stint up north. When I go to other places, I see that they don't incarcerate the youth with the grown men at 16, 17 years old like they do in New York. How do you see that they're catching our youth young and trying to institutionalize them inside these correctional facilities?
Let me just say this, God. Peace, family.
Please.
Let me just say this. As I'm born and raised in Mecca, okay, so I visualized a lot of this as I was coming up. Most of the brothers, and when I was coming up, even the guards, because I was around them when they, when I seen it in '67. So what I noticed is that a lot of us gravitated to the hustlers, to the ones who had money or was getting money illegally. So a lot of the young brothers, including myself, gravitated to that. And what happened is, with our youth, even today, none of that has really changed. They have gravitated to the negative as opposed to that which is positive. Because a lot of times, I'm pretty sure all of our parents have told us, son, if you do this, this is going to be the result. But we still, inquisitive and wanted to learn. We still did a lot of things that our parents told us not to do. So the streets in itself is an institution. Just like prison is an institution. Just like religion is an institution. So every time we step our foot out into the street, we get the majority of things that's out there is negative, and that's what we become attracted to. You know, when we look at our lessons and show you how living mathematics keeps everything in tune, when we talk about the wisdom knowledge degree and a large cipher. Okay, we talk about the unlike attract and alike repel.
Mhm.
So it shows you that we became attracted to things that was unlike our nature. We did that. Most of us have done that. You know, and being attracted to things that were unlike our nature, most of us continue to do that. So, in the light of that, and in the light of us being emancipated, so to say, in 1863, 1865, going out into society, we didn't have anything. Most of us didn't have a dollar or anything, but and a lot of us had to go back to the slave owner to work for them. Those the individuals that went out and did what they could to save, take care of themselves and family, the government in itself started creating what we call the black codes, which was laws that later on became laws, and they became laws to control or to confine the original black man. Every amendment in the United States to the Constitution, from the very first one all the way up until now, were ways to what control and confine the original black man. So when you look at all of that, and then I remember I'm gonna bring it all into fruition. I remember my old dad telling me that in order for them to make money, because jobs wasn't plentiful, they used to go to the railroad station, God, and help people off the railroad with their bags. Okay. And what the police, the Centurion Force, used to do would run up to them, and if they didn't have ID or a dollar in their pocket, they would lock them up for what? More than 6 people in a crowd. Don't they do that in prison? You can't have more than 6 people in a crowd. That's what they do in prison. And they got that from the law that they set up out here. And they call it vagarism. And if you didn't have, when father used to tell me he had to pin a dollar, his mother used to pin a dollar to the bottom of his pants so that when he was out there hustling, trying to make ends meet, that when the police ran on him, and if he could show that he had a dollar, they wouldn't lock him up. Now the ones who didn't, they was locked up into a system that was called sharecropping. And what happened, the masters would come to court when you was in court and tell you, okay, listen, I'll let him work for me because his fine is what? $100 he can work the fine off with us. Now, once you work the fine off, the sharecropper will tell you, you still owe me because I let you have a place to live. You was eating at my place. These laws have still, once we, going into the 1900s, a lot of these things still kept in place. So by us not having our own, by us not having our own, laws became to come in place where it said that we were in violation of these laws. So many of us went into the prison system. But it actually wasn't until now you got the Plessy versus Ferguson case. Mm-hmm. See, I did a lot of research on these things in order for me to do what we're doing now. And then, you got all these cases that took place before, separate but equal. Brown versus Board of Education, separate but equal. But we were never equal to them. And so in order for them to keep their foot on our neck, they had to put us into the prison system to keep us from not building as we could build, not using our mind as we could do. So, this is where you get the prison system, and this is where crime come from. This is where we start dealing with the crime. Prior to us coming over here in 1555, were we dealing with crime? I think not. So that system was created ever since we came over here. So we as a whole have to do what we got to do as far as educating our babies from a youth, so that they won't get caught. I had to go through my own experiences for me to see that. Even being young in the street and following behind the hustlers and wanting to get money, fast money, instead of going to work. That's what happens to a lot of our youth. It happens today. But now they even took it forward where they turn our youth on each other. The love that they're not getting at home, they think they're getting it from the street, so they get involved in gangs. That's the kind of love that they think is real love because they haven't gotten it from their parents. In the 60s, I witnessed this, God. I was here for this. I witnessed when they put heroins in the street of the 60s. I knew when it was only on 2 blocks in Mecca. And then because 60s was the conscious raising era for the black people in America, they flooded our communities with drugs. As long as I'm trying to teach you peace, God, the black man God, and you got a habit where you need to satisfy your habit, there's nothing I can tell you. All you thinking about are getting $2 or that $5 to where to get that bag at. So from the 60s all the way till now, drugs have become a subculture in our communities where our babies think it's all right to sell it or where they think it's all right to use it. So I teach against that hard every day. At the last parliament, I spoke about that. In the 70s, they came out with dust. I witnessed my own friend killing his own mother because he was smoking dust. In the 80s, they hit us with crack because heroin didn't do the job well enough. And guess what? A lot of us, 5%, got caught up in the drug, that whole drug, era. We got caught up in it, God. A lot of us did. But we're building right now. We're, all that we got to understand. That culture has to be eliminated from us. They put it in the community so it will become a part of the criminality that's going on. They sent brothers and sisters away for 20 years for having 2 bags, $5 bags of cocaine. Remember that. They changed. Jay-Z and them helped change the Rockefeller laws so that a lot of our babies wouldn't get caught up in that. Because they seen what they were doing to the black and Hispanic population. It wasn't, what about them devils that were selling ounces out in Beverly Hills? They didn't get charged with that. If they did, they got slapped on the wrist. Only the blacks in our community got 15 to 20 to life for selling 2 bags of cocaine, nickel bags of cocaine. Because the laws was derived so that they can keep us in prison. Not only in prison physically, which they did, they put it on our brains also. When we start thinking that we can be Willie Neckbone, when we start thinking we can be Willie Bobo. So yeah, a lot of our youth are going through that in this day and time. The gang culture, all of that is a part of controlling the growth and development of the original man. We understand the concept of race or what it means. We're not racing against anybody. They're the one racing against time because they know we can qualify to become either on their level or greater than them. They know it. So they put all these obstacles before us so that we won't rise above it. But we have to. You cannot destroy the original man. Mathematically impossible. That's not going to happen. Peace.
Peace, Lord. Peace. Great bill. Great bill.
Joshua, I'd like to add on.
Add on, Lord.
We'd also like for everyone to know, man, that coming from me, they consider the Office of Cultural Management can serve as a template in other regions for brothers that have to address these similar problems because the issues that we're confronted with here in New York are similar throughout the whole country, man. And brothers are looking for solutions. Communities, mothers, they're all looking for solutions, man, of how our people are going to survive this destruction, man. Because you take the young away, right? That's the destruction of the nation, man. Your community falls, because they're supposed to, man, replace us. You know what I'm saying? We're not just a bunch of mature men that are up in age, man, that are just beating our gums. We're actually, man, doing the work that would be required, man, you know, in order to bring some relief to our people, to put an end to a vicious system, man, you know. New York, by comparison, does a lot better than some other regions of this country, man, as far as, you know, how their prison system run. Here, if a person adjusts themselves in the correct manner, they can, man, get a trade. They can find, man, it's amazing how prison can either break you or make you, right? Many come out, man, hitting the ground running. Some come out, man, and just don't make it. But I know, man, that we stress primarily, man, that you educate yourself out of it. There are living examples, man, that are out here, man, powers of example for the young to follow, man. We say automatically, don't go. But if you do find yourself there to make use of your time, just don't do time, make use of the time. All right? But the Office of Cultural Management and the National Office of Cultural Affairs should serve as a template for others, man, you know, to initiate programs and activities in their community in order, man, to bring about the results we know that we need. That's what I want to say. You know what I'm saying? And this is why we're so vocal and we give a visible presence everywhere we go, man. Where we go. Not only by our flag, but being known in the community. I'm known in my community as these brothers are too. You know what I'm saying? And you know, man, that if you come to the divine principle, law you justice, the law of mathematics, law of merciful, anyone that is involved here and really doing the work that has an association with us here at the law school in Mecca, right? Then they are where, man, they are deserving of your trust. All right? They are deserving, man, of your support. And that's what I want to say, God.
Peace.
Just to add on and to speak of post building when it comes to the interior cipher. In April of 2019, the Office of Cultural Management, Allah Justice is our administrator for the Office of Cultural Management. We had the opportunity to go to Albany to meet with state officials concerning the nation of gods and earths. It was the first time that we had the opportunity to be able to sit at a table to actually be recognized eye to eye in equality with state officials to actually acknowledge us for who and what we are. And we got a chance to make knowledge born. You know what I'm saying? Of what we are, of how we consist them, and how we want to move forward in that. In February of 2020, they came to a law school in Mecca. Because a lot of people think this school is a myth, like it doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? It's some mysterious thing. Well, we invited them down to come to a law school in Mecca, and they came and they sat here at law school in Mecca, and we had a positive bill with them. And the director who met with her name is Nancy Fernandez said that she, you know what I'm saying, she would start handling things with the nation of gods and earth directly. So anytime we have a problem, you know what I'm saying, we could be able to address her. That April, we were supposed to start going in to start having sensitivity training where Larry Justice spoke about teaching civilians there about the nation of gods and earth. That didn't take place, in fact, due to this pandemic. But when this pandemic ends, we're going to be looking for gods and earths again. There are 50 facilities here in New York, in Region 1, in New York. We're going to be looking for gods and earths to be able to go in there and start teaching, to be present for Parliament, to either be present for civilization classes. And that goes for every other state in the United States too as well. So if you are a builder, you know what I'm saying? If you want to go inside the prison, if you're a builder, if you want to be a part of it, you get in contact with the Office of Cultural Management. We meet the first and third Sunday of every month at the Knowledge Hour. The first and third Sunday of every month at the Knowledge Hour. And like he said, we hope for this to be a pilot program that can be used in every single state. You know, every single state. If anybody from California is listening right now, I need God the Earth in California to get in contact with us because especially San Quentin, they leave people from outside to be able to go in. Now I got Solano. Now I got Coricon prison, man. I got Soledad prison up there. I got information I got to send out to them prisons this week too as well. Come need God the Earth to be able to go into some prisons as well. So if anybody wants to know who's here in Region 1, what the qualifications are, you can get in contact with us. Because first you must be qualified by us, besides being qualified by New York State Department of Corrections and Community Supervision. You can go to NYC.docs/directors and then go to 4650 volunteer services. And those are the qualifications you must meet of going in from a correctional standpoint. Letting anybody know who just try to get in contact with them, Anybody who tried to get in contact with them, they would contact us first. Say, we've been contacted by this person. You know what I'm saying? Are they qualified to come in here? Of course, you have to be qualified by us. And it's not just about you acknowledging 120 and showing proof of 120. It's also about you helping God's earth and either any other, you know what I'm saying, all human families that's incarcerated to be able to they come into society and be productive and successful. That's what it's about. New York is set up different than most of any other state. Colleges, all types of vocational training, and everything. Everything that you need is here when it comes to New York, because I'm a product of it. I don't use that. I use what was available to me. The Guard IB had a program called New Day, New Mind. You know what I'm saying? That I took advantage of. There's all types of programs that, you know what I'm saying, that's there in New York, in New York State Correctional Facility that you can use. You have all types of industrial trades that you can use. We are setting up here at the Office of Cultural Management that you could be able to take those vocational programs, those industrial programs, and be able to use it once you reach society, which a lot of guard donors know is available to them. Everything that you're taking while you're incarcerated is supposed to be put in the Department of Labor database here in New York. So all they have to do is go to the Department of Labor and say, listen, I took this up here. You know what I'm saying? They could be able to punch your name in and you have everything. He spoke about having brothers make sure they have their birth certificate and everything, stuff like that. You have an employability profile they're supposed to give you before you're released that you can use when you come out here. There's also a federal tax form that you can get, that you can take to an employer that will get tax credit if they hire you. And if you get any training from them, New York State will pay for that training. These are the things that's available that you can get from us if you come here to the Office of Cultural Management. This is what the Office of Cultural Management is about. We're not just about this as well, too. We're about other things as well. During this pandemic, people was told that they had to be vaccinated. We stood for people that don't want to get vaccinated. The simple fact, because we are not sure. Just got a letter from Pfizer. I shared it with the Guard IB, you know, as well too, that they won't be sure what active animal forces is in there. If we're not too sure about something, we should refrain from doing it. But I'm going to say this, and I'm going to reiterate this. If you have some type of weak immune system, then I feel that you should do what is best for you, because it's your health that is at stake. It's your family health that is at stake.
But we did create a form the God is talking about, or the God Stop form brought it to us, and the form was basically based on what was in the actual vaccine. And what we noticed is they had the rat in there. What was the other animal?
Mice,
dog,
hamster,
all animals that are part of food. So we did that so that, you know, when you challenge your work environment, because we are a culture who do not associate themselves with the pork, you would be able to challenge them with that particular form. A lot of people did it, and a lot of people were successful at doing it. But like a lot of mathematics said, you know, certain people, family members, you know, if you have to do what you feel you have to do in order to assist yourself and your family in your well-being. But we did do that for the nation members. This way, even the Guard IB, he gave a brilliant breakdown. Please, he gave a brilliant breakdown as to, you know, what was in it, how, you know, we can learn from what was in it, and how a person, if by choice, if they chose to deal with it, they could. But he gave a brilliant breakdown at the Parliament about that. This is what the Office of Culture Management do. We give back, we go to do the research, we find out what it is, and we give it back to our nation. Now it's what the nation do with it. But I want to address one more thing that Josh Mel brought up about the youth. You know, like I said, the drugs was in our community at that time. About the drugs in the community. In this day and time, we know even back then, my time, brothers had want to be tough and show how gangster they was. That is still in the mindset of a lot of our youth in this day and time. You know, to be soft is a misnomer. You can't do that. So everybody got to be tough, and they feel they got to carry a gun. So with our own experiences, we teach against that. We teach against. You don't need. That's not what makes you a man because you got thing hanging between your leg or you got this piece of steel in your hand. That is not what makes you a man. It's what you go through in your own natural experiences and growing with your skill and that you go out in the world and you become skillful and become the best at what you do. Whether it's your skill or your education, and then you bring that to your family because it's like a pyramid concept. It start with you self first, then it start with the family, and then at the bottom you got the community. So you have a pyramid concept that's going on there, beginning with the I, your I at the top, so that you can see what must be done when it comes to the community building. A lot of our youth, they gotta want to stick their chest out. It's gotten so bad that even the women are fighting each other. Savages in pursuit of happiness. So that knowledge we understand has to be given back to them. And hopefully, again, like I said, the pilot program which we created, we're going to other states, uh, and other states will follow that pilot program because we document everything that we do so that when it goes to another state, they will be able, all they have to do is follow the program. Now, if they see how to add on to it, so be it. But you have the foundation already set and how to move forward with it. Even though 1914 was the expiration date of the devil's civilization, they're still trying to do everything. They don't have, remember, they power to rule. That power is gone. So it's now time for us to execute the power and the will of Almighty God. And we do that by constantly building, not only amongst ourselves, because the Lord said, okay, you got it. Go take it to the community. And that's what we're doing. Peace, God.
Peace. Peace.
Peace. Could I add on real quick?
Add
Peace.
on. Add on.
All right. So, what I wanted to say is that when we looking for a template as far as what to do to save the community, the template has already been given to us, right? All we got to do is go back to the basics.
Do it.
What did the father do? The father taught 9 youth, the first 9 born. And the first 9 born went out the community and got everybody else, right? That's the template right there. You need the youth to get the youth. They may not be receptive to us because we're up in age, but they'll be receptive to somebody that's influential in the community, right? And why are we the ones that's not utilizing this template when everybody else is bearing witness to that science right now? Why do I say that? I'm a credentialed alcohol and substance abuse counselor right now, right? And in the paradigm of substance use, right, they figured out that the top-down method, meaning the counselor is the know-it-all, and the one who is receiving is the person that has to be given the knowledge. That paradigm has changed because it wasn't effective. It wasn't no buy-in from the people who was actually getting the information. So what did they do to address that? They created the peer paradigm. What is the peer paradigm? The peer paradigm is actual individuals who've been through the struggles that is taught a relevant curriculum that helps them to reach people that is going through it at this present time. And this paradigm is currently taking over the industry of substance use. Right? So what did I do? I became part of that peer network, and I can actually train people that can utilize their own experience to go utilize that in the community and reach others. But guess what? That's what the Father already taught us. Right. So it brings it right back to where we was at in the beginning, right? And what the Father did. Now, inside of the prison, I've been taught by my brothers, right? Things that I'm utilizing right now to teach the community. For instance, when I was in Greenhaven Correctional Facility, the fathers called me down to the school building and they taught me about HIV. And what did I utilize that for? When I came home to the community, I was actually able to get paid as an HIV peer educator, right? Also, a law of mathematics. He came to the civilization class and he taught us what to do to hit the ground running when we come home. As far as what agencies will give us assistance, what things can we do to get things knocked off our record? What things can we do to get vocational training? All of these things was taught. Also, my Uncle Merciful right here, he bought me the book, How to Start a Nonprofit Organization. He said, listen, God, I'm going to give you this book. You teach it to all the guards in the class. And by reading that book and teaching it to the brothers in the class, I was able to internalize that information and come home and start an organization with my brother Prince Rondu, Mentors Against Drugs and Guns Through Experience, that is addressing the youth. And we in the process right now of putting together a strategic plan to actually do this work. So why am I saying this? I'm not saying this just to glorify myself. I'm saying it because everything that we need is right inside of us. And we are the ones that's going to have to be the ones to do the work or teach youth. Grab one of them brothers out there that's putting in that destruction in the community, put them under the wing and teach them some relevant information so we can go save others. It's been times that I had to get in front of the Bloods and say, nah, I'm taking this one with me. And I'm going to teach him knowledge of self. And listen, it could have turned out a bad way, but I had to do it.
Right.
So these are the things that we're going to have to do. And with that, I say peace.
Peace, God.
I want to say something right quick.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to thank Real to Real for today, for even allowing this broadcast or podcast, however you call it, to continue, because we need to know what's going on with the nation nowadays.
Right.
So it was very important that we took part of that, because I know we have problems with the flags, so forth and so on. But that's already been done. I said that's gonna be more bill about that. That's gonna say again tonight at 7 o'clock. So I'm glad we actually spoke about the Office of Cultural Management, because this is what we're actually doing now, such as like say for current events. We have a celebration for the father on this Parliament coming up. And we made sure that because we have meetings in the Office of Cultural Management at least twice a month. So one of the things we just discussed 2 weeks ago was how to prepare for the father's celebration at this Parliament. So we got the guards that's going to be involved in that, the cooks, the cake, so forth and so on, because there'll be some food for that event. I know one thing about the guard and the nations, that they will be there for that event. So we have to be prepared to let them know what's actually going on, because we had so much trials and tribulation for over the past few hundred, who knows how long, how many years. Sometimes you get frustrated. So what happens is we let them know the positive stuff is actually going on now. That's very important, because you know a lot of times you'll speak about the negative and that goes on forever. But you gotta give thanks to the guards that are doing something positive. That's why one of the most important thing I want to tell the guards, thank you for doing the real to real for us to see what's going on now. We always talk about the negative. We sometimes we get so caught up in negative stuff, we get so much time in focusing on that than the positive. So that's why I want to tell the guards, I tell them plenty of time, I want to say thank you. They say, for what, Merciful? For the things that you're doing. Because we forget that part. We don't say thank you enough to each other. But you do something wrong, we will jump on your butt so long and so hard for too long. I'm not an elegant speaker. I'm not the best of teachers, but I'm the best of students. That's how I see myself. So our job as the elders is to let the younger generation know where the pitfalls are. So when you walk down the street, don't put your right foot in, you get your toe blown off. You get killed. So it comes with responsibilities. Because a teacher's job is not that easy. Everybody's not built to be a teacher. And that's something we have to learn. Everybody's not qualified to be a teacher. Just because you know 120 doesn't mean that you're qualified to be a teacher. Because we just quote all day long. It's more than quote. It's manifestation of who we are. So you guys lead by example. That's what's important to me. Because I heard what the guards are saying now, and everything is positive. I know everything in life is not always positive, but speak about the positive. That's most important. What's going on now is important. Because a lot of people don't know what's actually going on at a lot of schools. You hear a lot, they read a lot of books or doing texting or something, but you're not actually coming to the school to find out. That's one of the most important things. Come and find out for yourself, not what somebody else said. Come and find out for yourself, which was important. Let's say you're not from the New York area, but you listen to everybody else in different countries, different states, but you're not actually knowing the truth. That's the most important thing. So I'm gonna say Pete, because like I said, I don't want to take too much time, but I just want to say thank you first of all. Peace.
Peace. Appreciate you, Lord.
Peace, God. We
I just
appreciate
wanted to
that.
say, like,
Appreciate
when it came down to what the God IB was building on as far as the blueprint, that's an actual fact that we've always had a blueprint about teaching. And when it came down to teaching, Allah reached the individual who had the magnetic in each cipher. And he taught that person who was the piece with magnetic. And that piece of magnetic taught those that which was around him. And this is how our nation was built. That's the way I was taught, that this was the way our nation was built. So I totally agree that the blueprint has always been there. It's actually manifesting this blueprint it's been the stagnating part for a lot of individuals. But in this day and time, we are building, we're teaching, and we're striving to reach the youth from all different angles within our cipher. You have brothers like myself, the brothers that are on this panel who have been here for a long period of time or a certain period of time. And it's not about the years, it's about how we've served since we've been here.
Mhm.
How we have manifested ourselves to the community and the people around us since we've been here. That's the way I was taught. It's not about the years. It's about how you serve the community, how you dealt with the people around you, how you taught and treated the people around you. To be righteous and to be civilized means to be humble. And we must be humble in all our undertakings. And at this point in time, like I said, I want to thank Lord Merciful, for appreciating us on this podcast, because a lot of times, brothers don't say, saying thank you or anything, but we're not here for that. The Office of Cultural Management is necessary because we as a whole need to understand that we have family behind the wall. I have an older physical that's behind the wall and will be there for about 20 some more years. And he needs to stay connected. Right now he's in Greenhaven. And he's been bounced around from facility to facility and been there since 96, inside the system since 96. So I look at the Office of Cultural Management as a great thing for our brothers behind the wall, but it's not just behind the wall, because these individuals are coming home and being positive and productive in all their affairs. But at this moment in time, like I would like to ask Allah Mathematics to repeat the contact information of how individuals can be volunteers in different areas, or in the area of in Mecca or in California or wherever area that they are in.
Please. For Region 1 New York, get in contact with the Office of Cultural Management. We meet the first and third Sunday of every month at the Knowledge Hour. So if you want to get an understanding of what all the qualifications are, you can go to nysboccs.org/directives, go to program services, and then go to 4650, which is going to be volunteer services. There are several protocols we have to meet. Of course, you have to take a TB test. You have to take a TB test. You have to go through an orientation program. If you have any open cases, the cases have to be sealed and closed. All right? And then you also will have to be qualified by us, because the Department of Ministerial, Family, and Volunteer Services is going to contact us here at the Office of Cultural Management. For those that is in California, if you're in the San Quentin area, you can get in contact with Madeline Tenney. Of course, in turn, she is the community resource manager for San Quentin State Prison. That is the first prison that is looking for enlighteners. That's one thing. Let me make knowledge born about that too as well, because we spoke about the separation of religion and culture. We have established here in New York, you know what I'm saying, that we are not chaplains, we are enlighteners. You know what I'm saying? And we are spreading that to all regions in the United States too that contact us about the nation of God's and earth. We are enlighteners. So that's what we are getting. We are, you know what I'm saying? It's a process. It's a process. Some at first is going to try to call you a chaplain and everything and stuff like that. But those are the many different currents that we have to go through and deal with. That's what that bill degree prepares us for. You know what I'm saying? A law free cipher. It prepares us for going through different currents. Of course, that was the big argument in the beginning when the case was first recognized in 2000, not really in 2003, in 2013, when the Current.Reef case got us recognized as a nation, but still wasn't able to let us be able to congregate and come together. It was the Starkville University case that got us able to come together and recognize, you know what I'm saying, to be able to have ciphers and parliaments and stuff like that, because we wasn't able to do that from 2003 to 2013. So once that got recognized, they still, as you know, I know Josh Mel brought it up. In that case, the Star Mail, which is the Panayota, Panayotti,
and Bonilla.
Oh, the one with Boyd King and Starmel.
Right. They said they recognize us as a God-centered culture, and they give us the rights as any other religious groups. Right. So even though we are not a religion, we still have them rights. All right. Now, there's another thing that for people that's doing knowledge to this podcast, where the state is not recognized. There was a case that we had to use to be recognized as a God-centered culture. 42 USC 2000. It is the Religious Land Use and Institutionalized Person Act. That's what we had to use for the First Amendment to be recognized as a God-centered culture. You have to use the Religious Land Use and Institutionalized Person Act. That's 42 USC 2000. Anybody that wants to get in contact with us, they can either call a law school or come to a law school, or they can contact me. Go into any of the God and Earth pages, whether it be the Street Academy page, the Universal Parliament page, or the God and Earth pages. My contact information is there. My email address is there, and my telephone number is there. You can contact me anywhere. My phone is open for anybody in all 11 regions, and all across the planet Earth. As you know, I spoke about it before, we get gold from people in Africa that I don't even know. You know, I got one person out there who sends gold $30 every month. So my phone and my information is available, and it's only going to be open for anybody. I answer the phone all the time. I build with guards in California, Texas, and Illinois, Colorado. I build Ramel Understanding in Colorado all the time, and everything and stuff like that. So, you know what I'm saying? Listen, my doors are always open. I'm a builder. I'm about action. I'm not going to just talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Everything that I do, I back it up. I push it forward. All right? And if you want to come to witness this, come witness it. Come see what I'm about. You can see how anything that I manifest, I move, I push forward. That's what I'm about. I'm a builder. Builders build. And with that, I'm going to say
I also want to add that, you know, age, brother, it's not until your age to be a deterrent from you adding on. Because there's some things now, man, that it seems like a lot of people that are older in age are really have some hesitation, reservations about reaching out to young folks. As an example, not to toot my own horn, but like the God ID, am a peer advocate for addiction services, right? And I saw this as being a need for me to be able, man, to up my game because at a law school in Mecca, man, myself and another guy, Freedom B, man, we were responsible for the eviction services that are here, whether it be NA or we counsel you by ourselves. But I became a peer advocate and I got certified to do that work. You know what I'm saying? To this very day, man, I still carry Narcan in my pocket because opioid addiction is running rampant in New York, right? Get certified, put yourself into a position where you can teach because when they see that you are certified in certain fields, man, the doors seem to open up because people are hungry for people to come, man, that can be the soldiers out here, man, to get the job done. You know, I've never been the kind of just sit on your ass behind the desk kind of cat, man. You know, I know how to, man, go out and build in my community, all right? And just having that certification is another thing. But my message is, no matter how old you are, who you are, if you want to add on, there's a place for you as well, all right? And as a rule, man, we don't really teach people that are above a certain degree. But we do say, man, if you're going to add on with us, you got to know something, be about something, right? Because because our survivors of the state, man, all of us, the young and the old. I just want to say that, God.
Just to add on, y'all, I think a lot of us briefly spoke on it. We are the recognized vendor for the nation of gods and herbs. We are the recognized licensed vendor for the nation of God and herbs. Anybody who need crowns, books, any book that you want, I can procure it. I can get it for you. Universal flags, crowns. We also going to have CDs and DVDs. We don't sell them, the CDs and DVDs from Firstborn Prince, Dumas, and everything. So that what we do, we just ask for a donation. All right. It's going to be put on the Street Academy website soon for anybody that wants to know what we have in our catalog. But we are now the licensed dealers for the nation of gods and herbs.
That's peace. That's peace that individuals can go to the school and get crowns and build for their flags now.
Yes. With me, you have to build for your universal flag.
Actually, fact.
It has been God that been mad by me already because they don't play show group and you come to me drunk, stumbling, you're not getting no universal flag. All right, let me make not going about that now. There's been a couple people that came to Parliament, they was drinking and everything stuff. No, all right, you need to come some other time. When you have an understanding, you come to me and you build.
Indeed. Peace, God.
Peace, God.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful that things are going back to the foundation, where builders have to build and they're standing out. There's a lot of people who have talked over the years and hid themselves behind the builders. Now the builders.
7 o'clock.
Parts out.
7 o'clock.
Oh, tonight at 7 o'clock.
No.
Zoom call.
KY's got 7 o'clock. That we meet every Sunday, Saturday, every first and third Sunday of every month. He says knowledge hour, but he's at 7 o'clock. It's at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay. Part self, God. Part self.
Right, God.
Mm-hmm. Knowledge means to know, listen, observe, and respect.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm gonna tune into that Zoom meeting tonight.
I will too, God.
Listen, briefly. I said we were going to speak briefly on it.
Also,
from the Office of Cultural Management view when it comes to this.
Indeed. Also, I want to take the time out and say peace and to my brothers, Minister Freedom, also to my brother Inf Mega for their platforms and Dark Kim for their platforms, because we all are connected and we all build with one another in some way, shape, form, or fashion, and we all learn from each other. And in this process of trying to facilitate this information out through all 11 regions. So at this moment in time, I want to say peace to my brothers. I want to, applaud them for the things that they do on their platform, as well as, they always check out us and we always check out them, see if we can always add on in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I respect those other platforms and those brothers for the job that they're doing, and I appreciate the job that they're doing and going forward. So tonight, I look forward myself to being on that Zoom call and gaining more information about certain situations. Um, but at this point in time, the Real 360, the show is almost coming to an end. And I just want to thank all of you for coming on and want to say it was a pleasure to see my big brother, Lord Merciful. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. Peace, God. I be, it's a pleasure, God. It's nothing but love. When I get an opportunity to come back home, I definitely want to sit down and break bread with you. I love math. We build, I think, 2-3 times a week, I think, at this point in time. So in any way, shape, form, and fashion. And of course, I love Divine Prince. Divine Prince helped raise me in this culture. Him and my educator, they were very impactful in the Lord's Island Cipher in the 80s when I got the knowledge as a youth. And I've always looked up to Divine Prince. And to this very day, I'm humbled to even be in a situation where I'm on a platform that can actually acknowledge my big brother and let him know how much I love him. And I appreciate the things he's done for me in my growth and development inside this culture. So at this point in time, I want to say peace, and I thank you all for coming on. K-Wise, do you have anything else?
Can y'all send a link to us?
True indeed. Well,
Yeah, send the link, God. Send that link.
Yeah, send the link.
And I will be putting out the links for the Parliament on the Wisdom God Day this month. We expect to have a large Zoom turnout as well. Right? So I've already contacted Zaire in Philadelphia and other guards, man, and I'm certain that this tribute to Allah, because this is what this Parliament is actually for, it should be great, man. We should have a lot of guards. If we can fill up a Zoom call for about the trademark issue, I'm certain, man, that we can fill up a Zoom crew, man, and tribute to our Parliament.
Indeed.
Right?
Indeed. Peace.
Thank you so much, guys. Peace.
You're welcome, Lord. Thank y'all.
Peace to the
Peace.
gods. To the
Yo,
gods
no problems, God.
and all the human families of the universe. Salute.
What I say is this
Before
we sign up.
I think your Zoom conference like a month and a half or 2 months ago when you spoke about the Office of Cultural Management about the building project, and I kept telling Divine Prince, I said, we got to go on there soon. Pardon me for taking so long, man. I've been very busy. They came on time, though, man.
Indeed.
Yo, y'all still live. Y'all still live.
No question. Hey, we ain't stopped rolling. We ain't stopped rolling.
We ain't bouncing up to the culture, but I just want to say to each and every one that's been on this panel, I thank you all for your wise words and the wisdom that you have shared with us and our viewers. And I hope that it has reached amongst ears that have not fell in deaf mode, but to be awakened by light of knowledge, wisdom, understanding, which was being given. And I also, at the time, like I said, I will always give salute, the living flowers, to those who have come forth and blessed us with their words. So every God that's on here, I salute you, because everybody has a word, has wise words that has been spoken, that have been truth and made known. And we hope that we continue this build in all aspects of what we do, not just for the cultural management, not just for the trademarking on the universal flag, but in every aspect of what we build on in every day of our lives. If there's any topics that any of your brothers have that you want to get and bring forth again, do not hesitate to call on us. We are nothing but a phone call, text message, email, everything that you can on social media, a click away. It's always person to person. My number is there. You have it. Utilize us. Josh Jamel and myself will make sure we get you on board one way or another. And so with that, We thank you again for being on the Real 360 show. We thank our listeners and our supporters, and we ask that as each one teach one, we ask that each one share this platform with another man, woman, and child, so that we can continue to grow and build in the nation, and let our words be heard and our show improves be shown right in the exact. And to all our haters, if we have them out there, we thank you for tuning in, because the negativity, all that does is feed us to build on positive energy. Yeah, I'm just gonna be 100. I'm just being 100. If there's haters out there, we thank you. We thank you the most for bringing that out, because we ain't gonna do nothing but keep showing improvement. We just gonna keep shining, baby, for as long as the sun shines and highlights. Real 360 will be there no matter what. So, with that being said, this is the God K Wise, and if y'all want to, Lord Merciful, I be God. If y'all want to stick around, man, for the aftermath show, man, where we just chop it up and just break bread from up, you're more than welcome. I'm just gonna ask y'all to hold on tightly while we end this segment. Again, to our listeners, I be the God K Wise Allah, aka Kato, the Black Superhero. You make sure you stay tuned with us every Sunday, live right here from 2 to 3. Sometimes we extend it. Like this here was a true extension that needed to be had. So we hope that you stay involved and stay tuned. We had a lot of good comments that came through, and I still see some more coming through. So that's peace. K be to God. Complete God Allah. Is that Samuel Goods? I couldn't make that out. Don't hold it hard to me for making a mispronunciation of your names or whatever, but it's all good. I just want to recognize the people that's calling in and giving their text messages and comments, man, because without y'all, we got to continue to grow. So I say peace to all the listeners and one love. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna take us out right here.
Peace and thank you again.
Close down the panel.
Peace.
Indeed, Lord. Listen, like I said, our home is your home. We building on all fours. We good.
Definitely. Joshua, don't forget to send me the link. Or K Wise, one of y'all send me the link. Peace.
Absolute, God. All right. Once again, to our fans and listeners, we thank you once again for another tuning in of the Real 360 show. I be the God, DJ K Wise, and on behalf of my co-host, my brother in God, Joshua Allah, aka the PhD himself. I love that brother, and we just going to continue to grow and have fun with everybody. So on that note, we are out of here. Peace, and I'm going to bring it on. Oh, boy, I'm about to fall over here.
Gentlemen, we're starting to come to the end of the show, and now I want to take the time out and thank our guests for coming on. Also, too, I want to make sure that y'all listening and subscribing, and tell a friend and keep sharing, because we're going to keep bringing y'all the real content. You know what I mean? So, DJ K Wise, brother, take us up out of here, son. Hey.
I want to give a big shout out to the Nation of God's Nurse. We all do the time for you watch and don't you continue to watch and listen to the show. Listen every time we come home. I give a big shout out and love these
Repeat the man, woman, and child of the human, not first. It's time for us to disperse. We bring the best, not the worst. We thank you once again for tuning in to the real 360. We bring a friend to hit that like and subscribe, so we continue to grow to bring more knowledge and wisdom to you upon our show. You make it possible for us to do what we do. Now it's time I hit it just the way I bring it.
Yo, ladies